Every moment in itself, every instant in itself is actually perfect as it is. From the eyes of the self, every moment is perfect as it is. The imperfection arises once your attention gets mixed up with energy. Once your attention gets mixed up with emotions, things get even more challenging. And once your attention gets mixed up in your thought patterns, then that is the least perfect experience, so to speak. So, as we know, your thoughts, most of them are pointing to emotions. Your thoughts are pointing to deeper feelings. Even certain bodily pressures and certain discomforting experiences are also pointing to deeper feelings. And therefore, when we meet those deeper feelings, that's where we can recognize the perfection of those feelings, why they're here. What are they trying to convey? And once we work through it, or once they flow through you, you usually realize something more. You usually then gain a certain insight and more clarity. And then you see, oh, okay, so this deep feeling was inviting you to meet yourself in a much more honest way, in a much more deeper way. And upon this deeper feeling, there was an interconnected emotional, psychological structure, and the mind was the fifth leg for the dog, so to speak. Yes, it was spicing everything up much more. So when we inquire what is a deeper feeling now, you're opening the doorway. And that's where you can realize the perfection of every experience. And you can realize the imperfection when you get caught up in your feelings, emotions, and thoughts. Because you see, all things are connected. And as you go deeper and deeper, you start to disidentify from lower fields until you meet more of a deeper essence. And even there, the freedom is to be beyond a feeling, to be, we can say, the space for the feeling. That's where your freedom lies. When you are the space for the feeling, and then the feeling is truly met, it's truly worked through, and the perfection becomes more and more clear and evident. So the liberated state, or the Sahaya state, the natural state, is that openness, like the sky, which fully allows the natural state is this openness as a sky, which fully allows those deep feelings to be here, which fully allows those deep energies to be here. And there is a recognition that in the natural state, you're not hooked on them, you're not identified. They might be here, of course, but you know that you are not that, you're not those energies, emotions. So there's no hook, so to speak, that you misidentify yourself, that you believe you are this energy, or that you believe you are this limitation. So one technique that I would like to bring today into your awareness is, we can say, a radical honesty of what you experience. And a lovely way of approaching it is to say, for example, I feel limited, and it's okay to feel limited. So specifically in this structure, you say, I feel limited, and it's okay to feel limited. Or you say, I feel a sense that something is missing, and it's okay to feel that something is missing. So you see where this is going. This is going into the deepest acceptance. It's going right to the core of your deepest feeling. Or you say, I feel that there is an I, it's the uncomfortable I. And you say, it's okay to feel the uncomfortable I. And right there, this statement, it's okay that there is that, it allows you to completely accept and start to bypass it. It start to transcend it. It unhooks the identity, the hook. So even at the full consciousness, some feeling comes up, and we already recognize, there's no denial that, oh, it shouldn't be here. No, we're not arguing about the existence anymore. What is here is what is here. We're not arguing that something should not be here. Well, obviously, it's already here. So in the natural state, you acknowledge, you say, oh, there is, let's say, a sense that something is wrong. And you're not arguing that it shouldn't be like that. That's already, you've grown through that already. And you say, oh, there is a feeling that something is wrong. And it's okay that there is a feeling that something is wrong. You see how it disarms the psychological battle of which the Krishna and Arjuna were talking about in Bhagavad Gita. The biggest battle is fought inside. Yeah, so as soon as you say that it's okay that there is a feeling that something is missing, and here you go, you are already one step beyond the feeling that something is missing or that something is wrong. And that is the beauty of perfection. Because a sense that something is missing, it's a feeling. It is beautiful. It is inviting you. It is deep. The only thing that happens imperfectly It's the ignorance of not able to meet it, not knowing how to meet the feeling. So with that ignorance of not knowing how to meet the feeling, that's where the trouble arises, that you start to avoid, suppress, deny, and then your mind kicks in, and then it's a whole circus of impossible solutions. Yeah, because your mind cannot fix your feelings. It is the meeting of them that allows that acceptance to happen. And a technique of, we can say, radical acceptance is to say that it's okay to feel limited. Or some of you may say, I'm sure that's not you, but somebody may say that, oh, the enlightenment seems impossible. And then you say, it feels impossible, and it's okay that it feels impossible. And you are one step closer to your true self. So guess what the true self means? It's not the false identity, it's not the denial, it's not the avoidance, not the resistance, not the inner argument. Your true self means exactly that. It means that it's absolutely honest and naked and open. We could say even vulnerable. And it's beautiful because in that moment, your heart is open, you are totally open as you're, mentally and emotionally in your heart, in your feeling. And of course, this is a meditative practice, first of all, to meet your deepest feelings. But then as you grow stronger in your practice, you can even bring it out, in your conversations with your loved one. You say, oh, I feel like I'm there's a sense of this or that, or I feel that we're not talking about the real thing. Let's try to talk about how do you feel, what is really in your heart. Or then you can even say, what is behind this thought? What is behind this belief? Or what is behind this accusation? Somebody tells you, oh, you're like this and like that. And you say, but what is behind this idea? And then they will say, because I feel insecure. That's why I blamed you, because I feel insecure. And then, oh, here you go. You have an open meeting, an honest meeting. So in the way of meeting yourself deeply, honestly, there is this acceptance of all that is. At whichever level of consciousness you are, even in full consciousness, you will get feelings, of course. You don't become, a robot. You get feelings, yes. You get emotions. And there is a way of meeting them openly, honestly, and to simply immediately start seeing in the higher levels of consciousness, in a normal circumstances, you have a much more immediate seeing. So that's called a more direct seeing. So it doesn't take so long for you to see what's exactly here. And that's called the isness of now. Yeah, so in the higher consciousness and in more integrated consciousness, you have more direct seeing. And a direct seeing means you see it quicker, what is here, what is actually here. So that is what it means, enlightenment, self-realization, to be that direct seeing, to be that awareness. And in your experience, something comes up, a sense of limitation. And then you say, oh, I'm at full consciousness, but I feel limited. And if you are more mature being, you will say, I feel limited, and it's okay to feel limited. And here you go. Oh, are you truly limited? No, it's just a feeling. It's just a feeling. It's just an experience. Or then, you know, your emotional state gets, let's say, stirred up. Something happens, and you get stirred up, and you know, you perhaps you get a sense of this I, you know, the past sense comes back of the I, and then you see it instantly. Oh, it's you know, okay, maybe I did something too quick, and you know, got out of balance, out of control, and this old pattern came up, and there is this, you know, uncomfortable I, so to speak, comes back, and you see, but then you instantly recognize that's the old pattern, you know, that's the old thing coming back. And it's okay that it comes back, because you know, you can work with it, you can transcend it, but you're no longer lost in it, you're no longer identified with it. You allow it to come with your open arms. And that's where the story of Buddha comes up, that he openly welcomed Maya to visit him. And he said, "Oh, Maya, you please come here. You are my most honored guest." And the Maya got so confused, you know, like, how come, you know, I make trouble to everyone, you know, I make everybody ignorant, and everybody suffers because of me. You know, why are you welcoming me with your open arms? And so the Maya got really confused, and Buddha, you know, fully welcomed it like a most honorable guest. And that indicates his honesty and directness and transcendence, and at the same time humility and kindness and compassion and love. All these qualities are instantly shown in that meeting. So openly meeting what is now, you know, whatever you feel or sense, because it's not only limited to what you feel, there are deeper feelings, but also what you sense. You know, let's say you sense that old feeling of separation, that I am separate, but what is it really? You know, and you say, I feel separate, and it's okay to feel separate. It's you know, it already brings a smile on your face. It's okay to feel, you know, I feel separate, I feel limited, and it's okay to feel limited. But you, of course, you do it honestly, you know. So immediately you see that you are not that limitation or separateness itself, that it is something that arises or comes back to you, and that's totally okay. And that is the perfection of which I speak of, that everything is always perfect as it is. And simply, unfortunately, some people or majority are ignorant of how to make their lives easier. Thus, they're suffering unnecessarily, but that is also considering a larger circumstance of their life path, evolution, their karma, considering all of that from a God's eye view, even that is perfect as it is. Because perhaps this person who is suffering right now will realize that they need to awaken. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, maybe next lifetime. Maybe this is exactly what their soul has planned to do. So that perfection is the God's eye view, so to speak. And of course, from that level, it's all is absolutely perfect in the whole universe, just as it is. But then as you, of course, change your perception into a soul, into individualized soul, then you, of course, you already have a different perspective of myself or my experience. The soul, it doesn't ask those questions, by the way. The soul itself, it knows exactly what is happening. The soul itself, it knows exactly what's going on, exactly what's happening, exactly why it chose to be born on this earth, in this body, in those circumstances, and all of those human troubles are absolutely known to your soul. So the soul has that seeing of perfection too. That seeing of perfection extends, as I mentioned, into your soul, into your I am presence, and even your higher self. And somehow only in the human experience or the lower self experience, those questions arise. You know, why there is so much suffering, why this, why not that, and so on and so on and so on. And that is, of course, due to the lack of connection, the lack of knowledge of how things work, the lack of wisdom, insight, and so on. So the lower self needs a continuous, we can say, re-education and continuous change of focus into your higher being at whichever level you can connect with. And therefore, that is how you get your answers, and then you get to see that there is no mistake in the universe after all. Yeah, so therefore, changing the focus into a higher perspective will answer the questions of why and how things happen, which may not make sense, so to speak. So to summarize, the deepest acceptance is to absolutely honestly, vulnerably, nakedly meet exactly what is here as a feeling or as a sense. Like, I feel limited and it's okay to feel limited. I feel separate and it's okay to feel separate. I feel something is wrong and it's okay to feel something is wrong. We're not trying, you see, to justify anything, to argue with anything, to deny anything. Just a technique to openly meet what is here. If sometimes it's not clear what is here, you may ask yourself, what's behind this thought? What's behind this belief? What's behind this, whatever comes up in your head? What's behind it? What's behind it? And then you will always come back to a certain feeling or sense. And the perfection of all becomes experienced once you meet yourself in the right way as I just gave one technique, and stay with that technique for a bit in a meditative way. And then you see, oh, okay, now I can see more clearly, more directly. You start to get the bigger picture, and then you realize that, wow, there is no mistake in any of this. Yes, and then the only person you could ever blame is yourself and your ignorance. And that's the only person that you could ever blame, that why I was so ignorant, why didn't I try harder, or tried to find a solution more. So that's the only place where you could kind of place your blame upon. And then, of course, you would realize and recognize that, of course, there is another way, and now I should pursue this a closer alignment to my true self. So your true self is right here when it is, and you experience your true self right here when you're not clouded, when you're not caught up in your thoughts, when you're not clouded by your emotions, when you're not mixed up with what you feel and what you sense. And that's where the clarity comes in. And in that place, your true self shows that it's always here, that you are always here. Your true self is not somebody else. It's not like an angel descending from the sky and saying, hey, I am your true self. No, because you would feel that somebody else, oh, this is such a beautiful angel. Oh, you're so beautiful. But that's not me, and myself is myself. And in that deepest, honest meeting, you recognize yourself as this pure angel itself, so to speak. And that has been clouded by all those mixed up misplacements of your attention and focus, and ignorance, or not knowing what to do and how to do it. So that is the original issue, so to speak, with humanity. And unfortunately, the common educational system is still not educating people how to be real human beings. So if this would be taught in a primary school and secondary school and so on, and then the university will be the true universe, the true universal experience. At least they got one word right, the university. It should have to do something with the universe and the way it is, isn't it? But unfortunately, when people finish universities, they have no clue still what that is and how to live in the universe. If everybody would be educated from a kindergarten of how to do this, and then we would be living in an enlightened civilization already. And only those who would truly, resist themselves to their bones would be a trouble, so to speak. But every child is an open book, and they're completely open to learn all of it, because that's most interesting and exciting thing to do. And of course, with various ways of presentation and there's a diversity of how this can be brought to every human being. So that is a future intention for humanity, and that's the real teaching and wisdom of the ancient wisdom, so to speak. There's nothing new about it. It's the ancient wisdom teachings, how to live life in alignment with yourself, with the source self and with all other individuated source self beings. Yes. So let's do a meditation now to come to this deeper alignment of complete acceptance of what is now and finding that spot of liberation. So take a few moments to slow down. When you slow down, it's easier to manage. If there is mental activity, that's okay. If there are some emotions, that's fine too. If there is a feeling or a sense of anything in particular, that's even better, so to speak. And allow yourself to gently relax and draw yourself into this deeper place where you can recognize that there is a certain feeling or sense. You don't need to identify it instantly. First, you calm down yourself and slow down yourself into it, into a certain feeling or sense that is here now. And as a first opener, you can say to yourself, it is okay to feel this feeling. It is okay to experience this sensation or sense. Or you can say to yourself, I feel this feeling and it's okay to feel this feeling. It is okay that it is here. Even if a feeling that it's not okay, you can say it's okay that there is a feeling that it's not okay. If you have a feeling that something is wrong, then you can say to yourself, I feel that something is wrong and it's okay to feel that something is wrong. And in that moment, you may bring your attention to recognize that there is more space around, that you are actually the sky for this cloud, that you are the space for this feeling. Maybe you may even feel that something is hidden and you can't access it. And you may say to yourself, it's okay that it's hidden and I can't access it now. Let me just be with that now. Because that's what is here now. And as you're staying in this open, honest, perhaps vulnerable or naked place, that's where you sense that it's very healthy to be in this space. It's very healthy. Perhaps you already feel some buzzing excitement or joy underneath, somewhere deeper. Or you may just feel that this is difficult but healthy. And if you get caught up in that feeling again, you should slow down, come back to the feeling itself, and realign yourself to know there's more space. The feeling is here, and just stay right there. Or stay in between. And if you feel that something is still mixed up or the uncomfortable I feeling is there, I sense is there, you may say, it's okay to be uncomfortable right now. It's okay for this I to be here. The I is not a problem in itself if you are not giving it power. Only when you subscribe and give the power to the I, and then you wind down into emotions and circling thoughts, then that's, of course, is a problem, so to speak. It's a problem for you, of course. It's not a problem for your soul as such. Your soul just in that moment looks down and says, okay, we're gonna need a bit more time with this. So your true self and all the aspects of your soul and my presence, higher self, and so on, all these aspects of your true self, they're all okay, they're all fine. They see the perfection of these challenges and issues and troubles. And they are just helping you, guiding you, and waiting until your lower self will fully digest and understand that the unnecessary suffering is your choice, and the unnecessary involvement with thoughts, being lost in emotions, and being subscribed to the lower states, it's all up to you, really. And when you hear this, you know this. Of course, if nobody ever told you this, then you can't blame yourself for it because you didn't know. But when you hear it, you know it. There's a saying that the truth sets you free. It illuminates, it sets the fire on and burns that karma out. So that is the beauty of practice and alignment, or in other words, meeting yourself deeply, meeting your true self. And your true self is that aspect or that you which recognizes that, oh, now I can see that feeling. It's beautiful how it was here and why it was here, and that I can work through it and become more liberated, more free. So then as you work through it, you become more and more free. You open up more and more to your true self. And at the deepest core, your true self always openly, honestly sees what is here. Feeling, perception, a sense. And it's okay if there is a sense of separation. It's a sense. If there is a sense of something is missing, it's a sense, it's a feeling. There is nothing wrong in them, in themselves. The issue arises when you subscribe, when you hit that red button, subscribe. And usually involuntarily. So your true self is really beautiful, really open and honest and simple in a way. It's not complicating things. Your true self is not into complications. It's only when you get mixed up that things get complicated. Your true self is simple. Oh, there is a sense of separation. It's okay. Oh, something is wrong. It's okay. Oh, there is a feeling of lack. It's okay. Why not? Why not experience this feeling of lack? Isn't it beautiful in itself? And that's where this richness of experience is experienced. The richness of isness, of any challenging feelings. And at that level, you don't even call it a challenging feeling. Your true self said there is no challenge, it's just beautiful sensation of this I, how wonderfully it arises, the I. it's a certain fixation that wants to reassert itself. And how wonderful it's like trying to reassert itself. It's just amazing how it's made up. So for your true self, everything is a wondrous experience. That is how you increase your capacity to be as your true self, and you reintegrate your aspects into your true self. Self-realization, in a way, is a reintegration into the one and true self. And for those who are ready, you can start coming back. If you need more time, of course, you can stay longer in your deeper place. But sometimes it's okay just to do it for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Something arises, you meet it, you stay with it, and then it goes. And here you are, you can continue about your business, you can continue about your what you were doing before. And of course, to have a bigger progress, it is to do it more frequently. It's a practice, it's a way. And in combination with the transmissions, in combination with in the presence of another one who is of a higher consciousness and can support you, in combination of support, this is the way to the true self. It's the easiest way. I've met some people who have arrived to higher levels of consciousness, but some of them have not learned this way of meeting themselves. And they usually would experience a lot of pain and challenges and still getting quite confused, why I'm still experiencing this, why is this still happening in my life? Well, you know the answer now. Because there is a way to meet yourself deeply, and the way to go back into yourself. I don't know if you can hear, we have fireworks over here, and that's where the true self is celebrating. Yeah, that's where the true self is celebrating. It's the day of the victory and glory of your own true self. Fireworks in the sky. Here in Maltese Islands, now in summertime, we have fireworks like every week happening somewhere. So it's like literally every week we can hear it. Yeah, so I met a lot of people at higher LOCs, they come to me and they they feel a lot of struggles and they feel they need help and so on. And it's in this technique, this meditation, this way, it's one of the most fundamental ways of uncovering everything and arriving at deepest acceptance and the deepest perfection of your being. Yeah, and of course, on the other hand, you can do yourself to a certain extent. Let's say you can do yourself 80% of the job in your own, diligent practice. And then the other part, of course, it's in need of a bit of help to help you move forward, because otherwise one tends to get stuck at some point. So that's what usually happens. Yes. We have a 3-day retreat coming up starting tomorrow. So today is like a intro into the retreat, a pre-retreat session. Yeah, it's a pre-retreat session, and then tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, we'll dive into the retreat. And this is one of the techniques, one of the way, and that I usually bring for people to live an integrated experience of higher consciousness. Yeah, because if I would kind of just push you up, on a rocket ship, then you suddenly are there, but you have no clue how to handle it, and then all your troubles pour back onto your head, and then you get into a big backlog of stuff that you haven't dealt with or don't know how to deal with, and so on. So I although I like to push people forward, but not too much, in the way that they can handle themselves, in the way that they can handle themselves. And then, throughout all my meetings and videos that we have, I trust that people do their own practice, homework to continue integrating. Because again, 80% of integration has to be done on your side. It's your job to do it. And so that's the best proportion, so to speak. Right, and would like to hear from you. Like to hear from you. How is how are you today? What is your feeling now? Can you uncover it, or you kind of couldn't go into that deeper place. So we can spend a bit of time to inquire to help you out. Rustan, would you like to go ahead?
Yeah, hello.
Hi.
Yeah, I felt not so much. Many times I feel that there are not so much emotions, and I think maybe it's because I'm very much in my head, so I'm more focused on my thoughts than on my feelings. But early on, I have been, yeah, really, what do you say, caught up in many feelings, and I have tried to use different methods to deal with it, and especially breath work have helped me a lot.
Okay, but let's slow down here. You say, you know, you are more focused in the head, but what's behind that? Because I want to clarify that a feeling is not an emotion necessarily. It can be a sense, for example, confusion. It's also a certain sense. Yeah, that's a mental sense, confusion. But that's where I'm pointing at. It's not necessarily emotion, like confusion. That's what it is. And you say, I feel, I am confused, and it's okay to be confused. Yeah. So what would be your kind of challenge that kind of haunts you, or is challenging to you?
But yeah, I don't know. It's it's really hard for me to say.
Okay, so you can give more time to reflect on it. You can give more time to reflect on it. Yeah, but in this moment right now, can you see that you are aware of certain knowing or not knowing? In this moment, can you see that you're searching for the answer?
Yeah. I usually say that I think my feelings instead of feel my feelings.
So can you see that you're searching for a mental answer or for an explanation right now?
Yeah.
Can you see that you see? Doesn't matter what.
Yeah, I can see.
That's it. Stay right there. Yeah. What? There is nothing else, really.
But it does feel. It feels. I think it feels that there's maybe a deep feeling of emptiness, and I try to fill that out with thoughts because yeah, it's boring just to feeling emptiness.
Okay, you're trying to avoid emptiness because it's
Yeah.
trying to fill it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one of the tricks that your mind is playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can recognize there's something more, but then oh no, I don't want to go there. Let me just fill it up with other stuff. So I feel kind of safer and more comfortable with what I know.
Yeah.
So can you see your reliance on knowing?
Yeah.
And the discomfort of not knowing?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you make the not knowing less discomforting, it's not a problem not to know. It's okay not to know. It's beautiful not to know. I prefer not to know, to be honest, because I'm more free rather than the heaviness of I know. I know it's old, first of all. It's past. It's heavy. It's, in a way, it's dead. I know it's already done deal.
Mm.
It's not fresh. It's not alive. It's the old sandwich of last week in the fridge.
Mm.
Yeah, so the I know actually for me is more discomforting than I know that I don't know. I prefer I don't know because it's more alive
Yeah.
and more liberating, more free.
Yeah, but I know that I know that feeling or state when I do the breath work, I can empty my mind and just feel that, yeah, I don't need to know anything.
But is that not another state when the mind says, okay, now I'm in my peace, I don't have to know everything? Versus the instant of now where you recognize, I see that I don't know. And it's a bit different when the mind says, I am kind of relaxed, I don't need to know anything because I'm somewhere else, so to speak.
Yeah, you can say that I force the mind to to relax or to, yeah, just to let go.
Yeah,
Because
but that is not the awakened not knowing.
no, I know that.
Yeah. So where I'm pointing to is the awakened, not having to know. It's the awakened instant, the awakened aliveness, which you just verified when you said, I see that I see. And in that moment, knowing or not knowing, it's an option, whatever you prefer. For me, I prefer not knowing because that's more liberating. If you prefer knowing, then you say, I see that I prefer knowing. And it's okay as well. It's not a problem, actually. It's okay too. But in that moment, when you say, I see that I prefer knowing, just in that moment, you are liberated already, actually. In that moment, though, then it, of course, depends how long can you stay liberated. Yeah, but in that moment, that's what it is. That's where your true self is. And if your true self says, I see that I prefer knowing, it's okay, actually. It's not a problem. That's what your true self says right now. But of course, when your attention goes back into knowing and your comfort zones and this and that, that's where you are no longer your true self. Now you're one step down, which is also okay, as long as you trying to find your way back to your true self. Okay.
Yes.
Uh, all right. Peter?
Hey, good evening, everybody. The way I experienced it was when I went to the feeling or emotion, and I said, well, I accept it. It was like it was going away and it was really empty, everything. Of course, there was something coming back somewhere else. And well, by accepting it again, it went again open and empty space. The only thing was it was continuously, so I could work on this, on that, on that. But every time I accepted it, it was really like it was going away. And
Yes, beautiful, beautiful. And that's how you meet everything that comes up for you.
yeah. I also felt that more openness, and I felt that energy was coming into me. I felt that, well,
Indeed.
the electric energy, let's say.
Yeah, exactly. You are getting recharged from your own source self. Yes, indeed. Yes, very good, very good. All right, perfect. So you see, you can continuously do this, and your capacity increases to be able to, meet yourself deeply again and again and again. And then you say, wow, this is the most wonderful way of being.
True. Yeah.
Mm.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing. Okay, Nicole.
Hi, Mindo. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
This issue for me has been persisting so much, and I'm not sure what to do now, because today I was trying to say, okay, it's here, and the thing is, it's coming to my throat and it's choking me.
What feeling?
I don't know. That's the problem. It comes up quite often for me. It's like it's completely buried from my consciousness, like as if I don't want to see it at all. And it's just moving, and sometimes it ends up in my head. And actually, when it comes here, I want to yawn and I can't.
Yes.
Like
So
it's so intense, and even it's like I start even crying. Like it's like I need to talk, and it needs to. I don't know if I want to scream. I don't know if I want to. You know.
But it's already releasing bit by bit. It's coming up. Yes, it's coming up. It's releasing itself bit by bit. It's something that has been buried, as you said, in the unconsciousness. Yeah, so something you just dug up from a grave, like an old skeleton,
It actually feels like all the, how do you say, the introjects of growing up, and like the conditioned beliefs that, not seeing myself as worthy, like sort of, how, for example, if I feel it's not okay to tell someone no, and it's really ingrained in me to the point that I've learned to say no, but I still feel bad. And that's what I think is coming up now. And I like just felt
could it be a sense that something is bad?
Yes, I think there's a lot of how do you say, there's a lot of this shouldn't have happened, that shouldn't have happened, and I'm trying to say, okay, it's there,
No, but I'm pointing again. Can it be a sense that something is bad?
Yes. Like this shouldn't be here.
Yeah, like something is bad or something is wrong, but maybe for you it's more something is bad. Does that seems most clear kind of pointing so far? That something is bad?
It feels like something that should like it should have never happened.
Yeah, okay. It's still like something is bad.
Yeah.
These are forms of a sense that something is bad. And stay with it. Just with it, just with that sense that something is bad. And that's how you can work through it. Other things are associations. And I can already see how much more happier you will be after that. It's gonna unwind a lot of things.
I know it. I really feel it. Like I wasn't gonna come to this weekend, but something today I woke up and it was like, I've been doing this for so many years, and all these things I know about me have to go now. It's like it's been science a lot today as well. It's like, and I'm seeing and seeing.
Your retreat starts today. Yes, it starts today. and stay with this feeling something is bad. It's not so scary, not so spooky, just uncomfortable and stay with it. Yes, you can totally handle it. Very well, very well. Okay, Pepijin. Your audio.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
I thought it was already on. I think I can start with a question. Is that okay?
Yeah.
If there is sadness, is there first a thought before an emotion, or is it just sadness coming up?
If there is sadness, there is sadness. It doesn't matter how it came. Stay with that feeling, sadness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what difference does it make? Was the chicken or the egg first? If you see a chicken, there is a chicken.
Say that I go to a clothing shop and there's sounds there and a lot of people and a lot of things, and my nervous system or my system gets overstimulated. How can I stay with that, or how can I happen that it doesn't happen? Preserve that, how do you say that?
What do you feel? Like recall yourself back into that situation, and what do you feel in that moment? Being overwhelmed or something else?
It feels like too much.
Okay, overwhelmed, yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Overwhelmed is later. It's not conscious. It's like there's things are happening and oh, I'm doing things, I'm not conscious, and oh, I need to close myself down, my ears, and then okay, there's the quietness again.
Ah, yes, yes. No, that's fine. You are recentering yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. And that's where your capacity is to be deeper regardless of situations. So it's your growing capacity. And you know, as you said, you're recentering yourself, and that's totally fine. Yeah, it's totally good to do that. To recenter yourself and keep your balance as much as you can. And of course, you know, you continue growing in your capacity as your consciousness rises up.
Yeah.
So today in this meditation, what was there and what is now?
Sadness.
Okay, but what is behind sadness?
What do you mean?
Maybe is there sadness because you feel limited?
That's why I ask you, is the first a thought? So what's behind the sadness? I have no idea. Sadness is here.
And right now, nothing comes up. Like, why sadness?
Yeah, the limitation.
So that you see, it's not a thought, it's a deeper feeling. Behind emotion, there's a deeper feeling, a limitation.
The feeling of coming in short, being small or something, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And then you can say to yourself, it's okay to feel limitation. And instead of mingling with sadness, now you can just stay a bit with the deeper feeling of limitation. And that's how you advance. deeper into yourself. Yes, and in this moment, your inquiry is very good. You know, I'm gonna give you now some positive affirmations. That your inquiry is good. That you can recognize what is there, and these are wonderful qualities that you have. Yeah. So in today's meeting, you have learned that perhaps there is something deeper, a deeper sense, a deeper feeling behind emotion.
Yeah.
And that's what you can stay with and mature more and be more free. Yeah, because sadness is for you, sadness is already a counter effect of that uncomfortability of feeling small or limited. So sadness is not an issue anymore. It's already a counter effect, a side effect, so to speak. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. What else do we have? Yeah, I see in the chat. I can't go into any speculations of COVID and lockdowns. Yeah, it will be a speculation, and I hope it's not going to happen. And we're not going to be locking down anything anymore. So yes. Okay. How is everybody else? Anneke, would you like to share a bit?
Yeah. Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, I feel very peaceful right now. So I was enjoying listening to all of you here during the meditation. I felt peaceful, but the days before I experienced all of this, and I went through a lot of states of emotions, and like I found my peace back because I was just in it, not in it, but not denying it. It was very intense, and then I slept and I woke up and I was in peace. Yeah. So
Okay.
and right now it was like, it's okay that nothing is here in this moment. Because I thought, oh, we do this practice, but right now
yeah, there is peace and peace beyond that peace. And more peace beyond that peace. Yeah, okay. So just allow yourself to rest a bit, relax. It's all good. Yeah, you're handling it well. Okay. Alexandria, are you there? Yeah, maybe she's not. And Rasa, how are you?
Hi.
Hello.
So for me was the feeling that I'm different, first of all, and it was okay. So first time I thought fine, because I live in another country, so everything is different here, what I'm used to. And also I felt this very strong river of thoughts. I could not even listen what you are saying because I just thought something, my own, and I thought it's okay. So it was nice meditation.
Yes. It seems, yeah, it's very good. Yes, and you can recognize what happened and how it happened, And yeah, and you see the beauty of this acknowledgement that it's okay, that it's like this right now. And that allows you to process it and not to keep it, and to become more fresh once it's processed. So that's really, really good. And of course, if you missed, today's meeting, some parts, there will be a replay and you can catch up to it as well. Yeah, so in essence, you gave yourself some time to meet yourself deeper and to allow things to start processing or continue processing. And it's very healthy, it's very healthy, and it's really good actually. Sometimes, when we experience these challenging processings, like the heart knows that it's healthy.
Actually, yes. Sometimes this feeling is very unpleasant.
Mm-hmm.
For example, maybe last week or 2 weeks before, I had this very strong feeling that somebody's angry on me, without any reason, and it was so unpleasant. But I just like to teach, okay, fine, I just live with that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so it's healthy to process. And then I would give you a little extra advice to not to forget to charge up yourself. Yeah, to charge up yourself with some pranayama. And yeah, of course, I will see you in the retreat as well. So you will have plenty of opportunities to charge up. But generally speaking, when you heal something, it's a process, and then it's good to charge up with some life force energy, because then you restore your optimal state quicker. Because healing takes some energy, it's a process. It takes some energy to heal, and then to restore yourself quicker, you do a bit of pranayama, life force energy, and you're back to your most optimal place.